Marty with Remax. I want to talk to you a little bit today about bidding wars. It feels like everybody's in a bidding war lately, and it doesn't matter where in North America you live. Houses as soon as they come on the market are selling very, very fast, and most of the time with multiple offers on them as well. So, what I want to talk to you about is that people will do anything to make sure that they get the right house for their family. If it fits them, whether that's giving an arm, a leg, their firstborn, whatever they need to do in order to win the bidding war. So I want to talk about five different tips that you can implement to try to put yourself in a position to win the bidding war. Okay, and a lot of people don't know these things because you don't do it every day like we do. So tip number one is, let's assume that the house of your dreams comes on the market and you are like psyched, pumped up. This is the one, this is the neighborhood. Um, it's listed at a certain price, and I think that what you need to do is you need to assume that that price is the starting point. Very different when a house has been sitting on the market for 60 or 90 days and how you approach it. But when a house first comes on the market, it's generally hot if it's a good house and it's priced correctly. So the list price is the starting price. So you have to be prepared to go over that price to secure the home. Tip number two is you may want to consider writing up your offer as is, possibly waive the home inspection or add like a 48-hour inspection contingency where you're going to have the property inspected within 48 hours and either move forward or not most of the time. But if you're in a position where you can waive the home inspection, and I'm not saying take any crazy chances if you're worried about the structural integrity of the property or anything like that, but it does make your offer look stronger. So if you take tip one, you came in over the asking price. Tip two, you waived your inspection or at least wrote we're buying it as is. That definitely makes your offer look a lot stronger. Number three is to offer to pay the difference between the appraised value and what you're paying for the house. Um, Often sellers are nervous because they may be getting, let's say, you're offering 400,000 and the feeling is the appraisal is going to come in at 375. You may be able to put, if you're in the position with the cash to do so, that you would be willing to bridge the gap, meaning that you would be willing to put up the cash in addition to your down payment to pay the difference between the list price and the appraised value. So so that's another way of going about it. And we're seeing all different combinations. We're seeing people doing all of this. We're seeing people doing a few of these things. It's just a question. So, like, most people are like, this is what I'm offering, and they don't look deeper in terms of the terms and conditions, of the sale. Number four is an acceleration clause. An acceleration clause is being used a lot too when you know that you're going into a bidding war. What that is basically is you write in your purchase agreement that you would be willing to pay, let's say, $1,000 over the high bid. So that puts you in a position to. Now we're talking about real bids here too. It's got to be a bona fide, offer, and there's ways of verifying that too to make sure you're not just they're not just capping you out. Um, but what you would do is let's say you offered $350,000 with a $1,000 acceleration clause up to 375. That would at least put you in a position most of the time where you're going to you're going to be in the mix for getting the house, but you can't lock in on the exact dollar amount until they get back to you, until they close the bidding. And then the fifth tip is to drastically increase your down payment. Okay, when we're laying out three or four offers together, and let's say they're all the same or they're all close in terms of the dollar amount being offered, a lot of times the next thing that we're looking at is how much of a down payment. Is it somebody that's going for an FHA loan with 3.5% down? Is it a VA where you're putting no money down, 20% down? And of course, cash is king. But the more of a down payment, the more secure the seller feels that it's a good solid deal. And what I mean down payment too is, how much money you're going to put down when you sign the contracts. Often people say they're going to put up 20%, and the contracts come with 10%. In this market, you got to be no nonsense. This is, don't change your own deal, because that's how problems are created. Um, but you want to come in strong. So just to recap here, the 5 tips are, um, number one is the list price is the starting price. Number two is waive the inspection, or as is, or add a contingency that you'll do the inspection within 48 hours. Offer to pay the difference between the appraised value and the list price, um, the appraised value and the sale price. Sorry. Um, in the fourth being add an acceleration clause. And number five is drastically increase that down payment. All these things are effective combined. They can be super effective. It's not always the highest dollar amount that the seller accepts. Sometimes these terms are more important than um, just the money. And I'm not saying the money is not important; it's always important. But the other thing that is not on the list that I was just thinking about as I'm talking here is be flexible with the closing date. If you're in a position to wait for the seller to find suitable housing, I think that's the biggest fear right now, is that, great, I'm getting top dollar, this is awesome, but where are we going to go? Um, a lot of times people are building new construction down south, or whatever they might be doing. If you can be adaptable to the seller, you definitely give yourself a total advantage. But any help, certainly, send me a message through here, or you can hit up my website. I'll be happy to guide you the best I can. Thanks, and have a great day.